Right, I'm back with this Ayrton Senna 3 unknown stories. Well, for most people anyway. Interested? Great, let's go. We are starting in 84. Senna was starting in F1. He was driving a Tolman, a midfield car. In the race of Dallas, he crashed against the wall. Just a little touch, but he crashed and he could not finish the race. So I will let you hear the story not in the first person, but with somebody that was there on that day, and he will tell you this first story.
This is actually part two of Griff Jones's question. He recently read your great account of Ayrton and his unusual DNF in the US GP at Dallas. This surely rates as one of the greatest driver excuses ever. Absurd, yet apparently true in the end. I'm sure listeners would enjoy hearing this one. I think I probably would as well.
Yeah, it is amazing. So, yes, 84 we did... Any time we ever raced in Dallas, actually. Amazing experience. It was beginning of July. In fact, we were there on July the 4th, which was quite a day to be in a city like Dallas. A street circuit which was delineated with huge concrete blocks. Reasonable race, can't remember all the details of it. I think we'd had a reasonable start, he'd had a spin, he was coming back through the field, I can't remember exactly. But anyway, he eventually retired, and he'd clipped the wall, and he'd clipped the wall enough to, I think, break a CV joint and a wheel, something like that, but certainly he couldn't get the car back to the pits. So he walked back to the pits. I was talking to him about, what had happened. They said he'd hit the wall, and he was really troubled by the fact he'd hit the wall. And he eventually said, well, look, I just don't understand why I hit the wall. It must have moved. So I said, yes, of course it did. But he went on and on and on about it. So, and after the race, he said, look, I've just got to go and have a look at it. Come with me. So I went with him, and we went to the exit of this particular corner. And damn me, it had moved. What had happened was, as I say, the circuit was delineated with these huge concrete blocks, which were just plonked on the tarmac. They weren't fastened down in any way. And someone had hit the sort of trailing edge of one of these blocks, brushed it with a tyre, and it had pivoted slightly. So the leading edge was sticking out about 5 millimetres maybe at the most from the preceding blocks. There was a little 5 millimetre step. And Ayrton was driving with such precision that, he was probably missing that block by about 2 millimetres or 3 millimetres or something like that, lap after lap. So when it suddenly moved 5 millimetres, because it had swung round slightly, he hit it. And sure enough, that is what happened. And it absolutely amazed me. And it was a big lesson to me, actually, in the precision that these really, really good guys can achieve.
Right, this second story is in Detroit after his victory on this tough race. This was probably his most crazy interview, and you will see why. I guess he learned his lesson on that day.
Congratulations, Ayrton. Where'd you get the flag?
On the track, on the slow down lap, I saw somebody on the stand. I stopped, asked the flag, the guy brought to me, and here we are.
Well, that's great. If you had not had the flat tire, would you have made 2 stops? You think, Ayrton? Oh, he's being greeted by his pit crew here. They're signaling him. That flat tire, would you have made 2 stops or just 1 without that?
Only 1 stop. That flat tire fuck up everything. But fortunately, everything turned out good in the end.
Where did the tire go flat on the course?
No, I don't know. I just picked up something on the track. I never touched any wall or anywhere. Something came in the tire.
You drove a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And the third story, which is Donington 93. Well, what's new about this? nobody knew before what was going to happen, of course. So Senna, as a ruthless competitor, studied the track before, and he saw that if he drove on the pit lane, it would be a shorter track. And remember, in '93 there was no pit lane speed limit, so you could go there flat out. So that was his plan. On that morning, Senna asked the race director if it would be okay to do one lap on the pit lane, and he was answered yes. That was his trick that day. He was going to pass Prost on the pit lane if necessary to win the race. Well, in the end that was not necessary, but he did the fastest lap of that race through the pit lane.
Eu fiz uma corrida dos meus velhos tempos, vai? De coração, mandando ver e usando a cabeça quando tinha que usar a cabeça, nos dois sentidos, de apertar para valer e maneirar. E foi uma corrida, tremenda corrida, fantástica. Estou feliz não só por mim, pela equipe. É um sonho, é um sonho.
Como é que você conseguiu um domínio tão grande da situação assim?
Não dá para acreditar. Deus é grande, Cabrinho. Deus é grande. E quando Ele quer, não tem quem não queira. É isso aí. Eu acho que uma circunstância como essa, condições adversas, a corrida em si, as paradas em boxe, os retardatários, a primeira volta.
So this is it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up. If you have something to say or ask, just leave a comment in the comment section below. And I see you in the next video.